Pleasure to be with all of you here today. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm Atta Behfar. I'm a co-founder of Rion. I'm a transplant heart doctor at the Mayo Clinic and a regenerative scientist. Rion is a biotechnology company that innovates in nanobiologics that are targeting the body's innate ability to accelerate healing. We are a clinical phase company. We have an active clinical trial and actually are slated to start 2 additional trials in the next few months. We're piloting exosome-based therapy really to address critical unmet needs that our patients suffer from. The science of Rion is based on 2 decades of R&D in regenerative medicine, but by both myself and my co-founder, Dr. Andre Terzic at Mayo, where we discovered that exosomes, not stem cells, are really the key drivers of tissue regeneration in patients. Based on those initial discoveries, we were actually able to identify the key phenotypes that associate with exosomes that drive regenerative events in the body. And we have created a fully off-the-shelf, room temperature stable technology that we call a purified exosome product, or PEP, that really offers the first ever regenerative medicine opportunity to treat any patient in any location at any time. At Mayo, we created a broad patent portfolio for this, for covering biomanufacturing, composition of matter, and applications, and this technology was then exclusively licensed to Rion for use. Rion secured $10 million in its Series A and developed this R&D product to a fully clinical grade product and has gone through the FDA process to secure several INDs for clinical trial testing. Right now, we're in the midst of our Series B round to raise the capital to execute. A little bit about the PEP technology. Our platform allows us to manufacture with yields that are in the quadrillions and pentillions of exosomes derived, which are over 1,000-fold greater than any other technology out there. We have defined the exosome mode of action, which is promotion of cell growth, formation of new blood vessels, reduction of inflammation, and oxidizing, scavenging molecules, which essentially promote cell survival. We have targeted applications in wound healing and soft tissue repair, targeted delivery to protect the heart in the setting of heart attack, and we have a broad array of women's health and musculoskeletal applications. Right now, we have an active wound healing trial. We're about to launch our acute myocardial infarction trial, and behind that will be our women's health applications. We have an EUA that will likely go out later this month for COVID. And we do have additional trials in orthopedics and in soft tissue healing, such as fistulizing disease, moving forward. Our next milestones are to finalize our Series B. We have closed on the initial Series B round, but are continuing to raise more. We're going to establish the safety and efficacy of this technology in human trials. We have strategic partnerships that we're going to pursue based on the outcomes of those trials. We're establishing a biomanufacturing facility in Rochester, Minnesota, as we grow the Rion team. Thank you guys very much for your attention. The contact information is here if you're interested in reaching out to us.
Thank you, Dr. Behfar. These are very exciting developments. I'll open the floor now to our judges. Please go ahead and turn on your cameras and mics. And you have 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's super exciting. What a great way to curious about how you think about market size. I'm sure it's a very big number, but yeah, curious on how you're thinking about that.
Absolutely. So I think this is a platform technology. In other words, the basis of the platform allows us to go into several different market spaces. Believe it or not, the women's health market is the largest. Stress urinary incontinence is the #1 medical problem globally. Really, any woman that has had one or more pregnancies suffers from some degree of stress urinary incontinence. 300,000 new patients annually in the United States alone. Myocardial infarction speaks for itself. It obviously is a very broad-based market, and a big unmet need has been finding effective solutions for wound healing, soft tissue healing overall, but wound healing very specifically. And so we picked those 3 areas as the initial targets for Rion.
Dr. Behfar, great presentation. I'm curious if you could talk a little bit more about your commercial strategy as you think about either partners or initial markets that you would go to.
Absolutely. So so initially what we will do is we will execute these phase 1b/2a trials, create safety and efficacy data. We're designing them so that we actually get power calculation numbers out of these trials. Based on that, we have 2 opportunities. One is indeed partnership opportunities, where we get into co-development deals or licensing with big pharma and move those forward. Alternatively, because this is a platform technology, we can actually create verticals out of Rion, where we then take a focused clinical endeavor, build up a management team with significant expertise in that market space to then not only execute on the late phase trials, but do the marketing and reimbursement in that. Given that piece of information, I will highlight for you that we are actually engaged in several of these types of vertical conversations already for additional opportunities based on our technology.
Just a quick question on what kind of adverse events do you have or expect from a product like this?
So fortunately, this is a product that you have in your body, and this is the thing that helps you heal wounds right now. So if you cut yourself, this is the exosome that will drive healing. So as a naturally occurring technology, risk of adverse events is low. Nonetheless, we do all of those toxicity studies for the FDA.
Okay, thank you.